Caitlin Clark injured again during Connecticut Sun versus Indiana Fever game at the TD Garden. Caitlin Clark left the Indiana Fever versus Connecticut Sun game at the TD Garden in Boston on July 15th with just 39 seconds left in the fourth quarter, wincing and clutching the top of her right leg. Post-game, Fever coach Stephanie White confirmed that Fever training staff were evaluating the right groin. A right groin injury would mark the fourth separate muscle injury Clark has had in the past few months. She had never been injured before the season. Clark seemed to be tearing up on the sidelines after suffering the injury, sitting on the bench with a towel over her head. The Fever still came away with a win, 85-77 over Connecticut. But it's unclear if Clark will be able to play in their game on July 16th. How did Clark get injured? It's unclear exactly how Clark got injured. It occurred after she brought the ball up from the floor, twisted to push off Sun guard Layla Lakin, and then twisted again to bounce the ball to Kelsey Mitchell. After that play, she turned around and grabbed at her right groin area. What other injuries has Clark had this season? Clark has been plagued with injuries this season, surprising for a player who had never before been injured. She played all 139 games of her college career, then 46 straight games to start her professional career. But this year, she's missed 10 games so far, starting with the Fever's preseason opener on May 3rd against Washington with what she described as just a little bit of tightness in her quad. Then on May 24th, she suffered a quad strain, unrelated to the preseason injury, against the New York Liberty, keeping her out for 5 games. While she returned June 14th, she only played 5 more games before suffering another injury, this time in her left groin. Now, less than a week after returning on July 9th, she appears to be facing another stint on the sidelines with a similar issue. There's little explanation to how the Fever star can't seem to stay healthy this season after years of playing high-level injury-free. It's been challenging mentally, just staying in it. Clark said July 8th before her return from her left groin injury. "I've been here for hours and hours on hours trying to get my body right and do everything I can to put myself in a position to be available the rest of the year." Will Caitlin Clark play today? The Fever are set to play the New York Liberty at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn on July 16th. It will be the second game of a back-to-back for Indiana. It's not clear if Clark will be able to play after appearing to re-aggravate her groin injury. It's worth noting that Clark has not played in back-to-back games all season. Caitlin Clark stats. How many points did Caitlin Clark score last night? Clark scored 14 points against the Sun. She went 4 of 14 shooting, including 1 of 7 from 3. She also had 8 rebounds, 7 assists, and 1 steal. Fan wearing Fever jersey gets ejected. Clark's injury wasn't the only drama in the game. A fan wearing a number 22 Indiana Fever t-shirt jersey was ejected from his courtside seat in the second quarter. It happened after a timeout, when Sun guard Sonia Rivers went to the sideline where the fan was sitting to inbound the ball. Rivers then stepped away from the sideline, having a passionate conversation with 2 referees. Security eventually identified the fan, who was escorted out of his seat and taken up through the lower-level seats to the concourse. Other fans booed and waved goodbye as he left with a security escort.